Oh, Rare. Remember when they weren't garbage? Yeah, me too. That's what we call good times. About halfway through Rare's fantastic run on Nintendo consoles, Banjo Kazooie was released on the N64. Now that's what we call amazing times. I think you guys can see where I'm gonna go with this, so I'll just start talking before I get even more ahead of myself, okay? Okay. The story starts off with Gruntilda, who's up by her cauldron after reading the latest issue of Fat Hag Monthly. She thinks she's the hottest thing ever, so when her cauldron Dinkpot shows off Tootie, who's prettier than her, Grunty of course gets furious, so she waddles out of her lair on her stereotypical flying broomstick and snatches Tootie up for herself to use in her machine that exchanges one person's beauty to another. All the while, Banjo is still in his bed, sleeping away like the good brother he is. When he wakes up, Bottles, this game's ongoing tutorial, informs you what happened and the adventure begins. Now right off the bat, I need to mention how amazing Bottles is right here. It's the very beginning of the game, so you expect to be forced to go through a tutorial of all the game's basic moves, because back then, nobody knew that when a new game came out, the A button might just possibly make you jump. You can actually skip the whole tutorial and just start the adventure. How have games nowadays not picked up on this yet? Nobody wants to replay their favorite game's tutorials. Oh, so you're saying the B button can attack? Oh, okay, good, because I've beaten the game before, I just forgot how I did it. Yeah, thanks a lot. Banjo features 9 worlds to play through, and each one has a good amount of collectibles. The most important one being, of course, the Jiggies. There are 10 of these jigsaw pieces scattered throughout every level, and they can be collected by solving challenges like simple puzzles, some dastardly platforming sections. I'm looking at you, Rusty Bucket Bay. How in the hell did I just do that? And collecting 5 colorful Jinjos scattered throughout the level. Which, just to mention, I always thought was weird. The Jinjos are clearly out in the open, yet they need me to help. Whatever, I'm thinking too much into it. These Jiggies are used at special jigsaw puzzle switches to gain access to new levels. Even Grunty's lair itself has 10 Jiggies, most of which are activated by finding a Grunty switch in each level and stomping on it. And there are 100 music notes in each level as well, which are used to open up locked doors throughout Grunty's lair to get closer to the big bad witch herself. And lastly, empty honeycomb pieces. In every level there are 2 of them, and once you get 6, you get an extra hit point added to your life bar, which is always a fantastic touch. But for me, it only really means I can be careless and get 1 more extra hit. Now to beat the game, you don't technically need to collect every Jiggy and note, but this is what they call a collectathon, so if you're like me, must collect everything. Aside from the variety and challenges you get for Jiggies, the game is constantly throwing new moves at you to change things up even more frequently. Bottles can be found in many different molehills for the first 6 levels, and he gives you a bunch of new moves to add to your arsenal, which mostly make Banjo himself seem pretty useless because Kazooie is the rising star in this department. The big one is of course the Talon Trot, which not only makes you move faster, but lets you climb up certain incline hills. And you're going to be using this for most of the game, so if you're like me, get used to hearing this for most of the game. And then you can collect eggs to use as ammo to shoot out of Kazooie's beak or her... yep. Then there's a pad to let you do a high jump. There's a pad to let you fly, letting you turn temporarily invincible. Shoes that make you run really fast. Shoes that let you go through shallow poisonous water. Yeah, there are a lot of moves here. And then there's Mumbo Jumbo, where by collecting enough Mumbo tokens, he'll transform you into a different animal, as well as a pumpkin. Okay? These different forms only really have 2 purposes. To get to areas in the levels that Banjo couldn't get to himself, and to take them out into the lair to get previously inaccessible areas there as well. So, alright, the transformations are fairly shallow, but they're still really cool to look at regardless. And come on, Croc Banjo is just so damn cute. The only other thing worth mentioning is Cheeto, the spellbook. He can be found in 3 hidden areas of the lair, and finding him will give you a cheat code to enter back in Treasure Trove Cove. You can double your maximum egg count, red feathers for flight count, and gold feathers for invincibility count. I do normally go out of my way to find all 3 of them, but they're really unnecessary to beat the game unless maybe it's your first time through. He's pretty pointless. Alright, so in the past couple minutes, we got the main details of the game out of the way. So now I'm just gonna sit here and praise the hell out of the game, alright? Alright, cool. For one, I absolutely love how cohesive the entire world feels. Take Spiral Mountain, for example. If you think about it, the whole place is pretty much useless. Once you get the 6 empty honeycomb pieces and enter Grunty's lair, you have absolutely no reason to go back. And yet, the place is still pretty awesome and is pretty much the centerpiece for the entire Banjo series. And then when you're inside the lair, whenever you get closer to a different level, the music will smoothly transition over to match the theme of the level you're nearby, which I always thought was a fantastic touch. Speaking of music in general, the soundtrack to this game is incredible. Each of the game's 9 worlds are all incredibly different from each other, and they all have catchy music to go along with it. Grant Kirkhope, the game's composer, did an amazing job making a lovable and definitely memorable soundtrack. The biggest highlight is in Click Clock Woods. The aspect of this level is pretty awesome enough. A big grassland with a huge tree in the middle, and you can enter the level in either of 4 seasons, and the aspects of the world change depending on when you entered, along with the music, changing it up to match the seasonal mood. Now for the time that this game came out, that's a lot of effort for a platformer like this, and I commend them greatly for that. What I also love is the amount of personality that this game gives off. Rare had a little knack back in this time in their lives where they decided to put huge eyes on everything. Let's go right back to Spiral Mountain. Whenever you get an item for the first time, they'll describe what it does, and of course, they all have huge eyes. Even the rocks in the area have huge eyes. I mean, come on, how can you not find that at least somewhat cool? And for a platformer, the dialogue is actually really entertaining. The best example is throughout exploring Grunty's lair. She will constantly come up and tell you how much she hates you while making sure it rhymes. And then you have all the snappy one-liners from Kazooie, which are definitely the highlight because they are hilarious. The best one, of course, being in Gobi's Valley. Who did not bust up laughing the first time you saw that? This is rated E for everyone, people. There's just so much to love about Banjo Kazooie's world. There's a huge amount of characters between all the game's worlds, all of which have annoying sounds for voices that I honestly can't help but love. While each of the game's levels use themes that aren't exactly new or unique, in my opinion, the characters you work with in each level really help them stand out on their own. I especially love the flower pots in Mad Monster Mansion, who pretty much tell you to screw off.
Thank you.
Come again?
Thank you.
Awesome. And then there's Clanker's Cavern. Tell me Clanker didn't petrify the hell out of you the first time you saw him. Oh hey, a water level, pretty cool, swimming through a tube, all of a sudden, ah! Oh, good times, let me tell you. A great game can be great all on its own, but when it goes the extra mile to ooze personality like this game does, you're an instant winner in my book. Now before people give me any crap by calling me a blatant fanboy, I'm gonna be realistic here and say that there are a few things that do bother me. I can't say it's totally perfect. For one, collecting notes can sometimes be a chore if you're not familiar with the game. If you die mid-level, the game only keeps track of the number of notes you collected, not the fact that you collected them. Which means you have to collect all 100 in one run if you want it to count. The Jiggies don't have this problem, but oddly enough the Jinjos do. It can be a big issue the first time you're playing through the game, but after playing through the game once, this was never an issue for me. Except in Rusty Bucket Bay. Fuck! This problem was fixed in the Xbox Live port, however, so there you go. What also kinda stinks is that you can't replay anything in the game because the Jiggies never respawn. This didn't bother me too much either, but considering the number of people who do get annoyed by it, it is worth noting out. It's not a problem for me, cause I've played through the game so many times and so frequently, I don't have a desire to play any particular moment. I can just play through the entire game in one sitting at this point. And then, and you guys knew I would bring it up at some point, Stop and Swap. For those who are unfamiliar to what Stop and Swap is, the ending teases items that you can get that will directly affect the game's sequel if you stopped and then swapped Kazooie's cartridge for Tooie's, hence the name. As we all know, this didn't fall through. Older N64 models were able to hold game memory for 10 seconds after being ejected, but newer models reduced that to 1 second, and that's why it never came into fruition. As you can imagine, the insanity that would be caused by trying to safely change cartridges in only a second's time. There is a whole backstory to this, along with it being brought back for the Xbox Live port, but you can look into that yourself. It's still very disappointing that the feature didn't go all the way through back in the day, and it's kinda shocking that more games don't do something similar nowadays. Here's hoping that changes sometime in the near future, but I know it probably won't happen, but hey, I can dream, can't I? So if you couldn't already tell from how much I just praised the game, yeah, I absolutely love Banjo Kazooie. It's so finely crafted, almost every second of this game is lovable, and if for some reason the game's world and its characters don't faze you, it's still a great 3D platformer with a ton of variety, and thanks to the new moves and transformations, it never once feels old or gets repetitive. I just played through the whole game while recording most of it for the video, and guaranteed I'll probably be playing it again sometime in the near future. So obviously, I can't give Banjo anything other than a 5 out of 5. What a shocker! But I mean, it totally deserves it, being my second favorite 3D platformer of all time and all. Yeah, that's right, I said second. What's the first? Pfft, isn't it obvious? It's Catch you guys next time.